In a world where appearances still often outweigh accomplishments, one moment can expose the ugly truth and flip everything upside down. Welcome to Luxury Auto 1A, where stories reveal power, dignity, and unexpected justice. It all started on a humid morning in Los Angeles in the spring of 2025. The sun was already blazing, the city moving with its usual chaotic rhythm. At precisely 9:12 a.m., a tall, poised black man in a custom charcoal suit walked through the gleaming revolving doors of one of the most prestigious hotels in the city, at the Art Victoria. His name was Elijah Westbrook. He didn't arrive in a flashy limo or with a big entourage. Just one assistant behind him with a leather folder tucked under her arm. He moved with quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. He had a meeting scheduled with European investors in one of the hotel's luxury conference rooms. But before he could even reach the reception desk, a young woman in a pressed navy uniform stepped forward, her smile tight, her eyes scanning him up and down. "Sir, the staff entrance is around the side of the building," she said crisply. "You can't be in the lobby without a guest pass." Elijah blinked, surprised, then offered a calm smile. "I'm not staff. I have a meeting upstairs. Reservation should be under Westbrook Enterprises." The receptionist's expression stiffened. "I don't think so," she replied. "This isn't the kind of place that hosts that kind of business." Her voice dropped slightly at the end, but the message was clear. His assistant stepped in. "Excuse me, we confirmed the booking 2 days ago. We're expected in the Rosewood suite at 9:30. The receptionist glanced past her and raised a brow. "Security is on its way. Please exit the lobby now or we'll have you removed." People in the lobby started turning their heads. Phones lifted discreetly. Murmurs rippled. Elijah said nothing. He simply nodded, turned calmly, and walked out. The assistant trailed behind him, stunned. "Outside," she exploded. "Mr. Westbrook, this is outrageous. We're filing a complaint. I'll call the board." The newsa. But Elijah raised a hand. "No," he said. "I'm calling someone else." 20 minutes later, the hotel's regional vice president pulled up in a black sedan, his face pale and panicked. And with him came the truth. You see, what the receptionist and most of the hotel staff didn't know was that Elijah Westbrook wasn't just any CEO. He was the CEO, the parent company of Art Victoria, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that owned over 300 luxury hotels worldwide. They had quietly brought in Westbrook 6 months ago as its new global chief executive. The board never announced it publicly. It was a strategic move. Elijah preferred to evaluate operations silently, from the inside. Today was supposed to be a quiet evaluation visit before a major investment rollout. Instead, it turned into something else the moment he stepped back into the lobby, this time accompanied by the VP, the hotel manager, and 2 assistants. The receptionist froze. The blood drained from her face. She opened her mouth. "Sir, yeah, I didn't know." Elijah's gaze was calm but sharp. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "You didn't know because you didn't bother to ask. You didn't even check the reservation. You saw my skin, you saw my presence, and you decided what I must be. You embarrassed me. You embarrassed your brand. And you embarrassed yourself." The VP was visibly sweating. "Mr. Westbrook, please, we can resolve this. She's young. It was a mistake, yeah." But Elijah turned to the woman. "You're relieved of your duties," he said simply. "Effective immediately. Ours will follow up." She broke down. "Please see broken bar. I have bills. I wasn't trying to be racist. I thought up." "You thought wrong," he replied, turning and walking away. The investors he was meeting were waiting upstairs, already hearing the story through whispers and news alerts. But Elijah didn't let the incident cloud the deal. The presentation went smoothly. The investment was secured. And after the meeting, he addressed the room briefly. "What happened downstairs," he said, "is not new to me. Or to many others. But as CEO, I can promise you this, we are not just building luxury. We are building accountability." The room applauded. Later that evening, the incident went viral. Someone had filmed the first confrontation and then captured the moment when Elijah returned with the corporate team. The clip hit 1 million views in hours. Hashtags exploded. #ShowJustice, #Strongman Red Power, #Elijah Westbrook, #Luxury with Integrity. The fired receptionist tried to post an apology on social media, but the damage was done. Most viewers pointed out what many had known for years: that discrimination doesn't always wear a uniform. Sometimes it wears lipstick and a smile behind a desk. But there was another twist. 2 days later, Elijah announced a new corporate program, Vision 21, a diversity training and career advancement program built for every hotel employee across their 300-plus properties. The first woman to be promoted under the new policy? The black assistant who stood up for him that morning. When asked later by a journalist what went through his mind in those 20 minutes outside the hotel, Elijah simply said, "I thought about my mother, who cleaned hotel rooms for 20 years. And I thought about every person who was told they didn't belong in a place they earned the right to walk into. I didn't fire her to prove a point. I did it to prove a standard. Because sometimes power doesn't look the way people expect it to. Sometimes, it wears the same skin they try to dismiss. And when it speaks, it doesn't shout. It simply walks in, listens a broken bar and changes everything." This is Luxury Auto 1A, where every story has a turning point. And justice always gets the last word.